she worshiping Yahweh with timbrels and in the dance? Yes. And she was his only child.
Wow.
And beside her he had neither son or daughter. You remember who Yiphtachs was, right? The son of a whore, thrown out of his house by his brothers, and about to lose his daughter. His only, not a daughter, his only daughter, as a burnt offering.
Only child.
So obviously he was not a perfect leader. He made a vow that he should not have made, because he didn't know what would come out of his house. He figured he'd go home, offer up a goat or a kid, and offer it to Yahweh. He never figured his daughter would come out with a timbrel and dancing and a tambourine or whatever she had to meet him. He didn't think that far ahead.
Wow.
How many people have taken vows and broken the vow and are suffering to this day because they made a vow they couldn't keep? Or they are not suffering, but they will soon suffer.
Amen.
Because they don't know the future. They don't know what the future holds. They're ignorant of the future. So this poor child was dancing for Yahweh. She was dancing for Yahweh's victory and power. And yet her father had done her wrong. You don't put a child in that position. The opposite. In the Torah, the father is supposed to protect the child from a vow that she makes rashly. Here he makes a rash vow, binds his daughter, and she has nothing to say about it. She doesn't have a word to say about it. So he did his only daughter wrong. He did her a terrible wrong and a terrible disservice. Verse 35, it came to pass, when he saw her dancing, running out of the house, after he had defeated the sons of Ammon, that he tore his clothes and said, "Oi, oi, my daughter, you have brought me into depression. You are one of them that caused me trouble. For I have opened my mouth to Yahweh. I cannot go back on my word."
Wow.
That's why Yiphtachs in the Hall of Fame, Raina. Because he could not go back on his word. It came out of his mouth. He had to make good on what came out of his mouth. Does that describe you? Probably not. Does that describe me? Probably not. In other words, would to Yahweh that believers had this fear. How about marriages that have gone through divorce on demand? Breaking lifelong vows after a month. Or a year. Or 5 years. How many of them, and how many of those vows were done and sealed in Yahweh's Kadosh name? By those who know his name. What will their reward be, Wilbur?
Not too good.
Till death do us part. In health and in sickness. In life and in death. In triumph and in tragedy. 7 circles, one for each of the 7 days of the Feast of Consummation, Sukkot. As Yahweh lives, I give you this ring. How many?
How many? Can't count.
How many?
Can't count.
Knowing Kadosh, Yahweh's Kadosh name. Taking vows in Yahweh's name, as Yahweh lives. Not God, not Jesus. And broke those vows. Yiphtachs said, I opened my mouth, I cannot go back on my word. My only daughter, my only child, my only hope and future. I cannot go back on my word. Now let's be honest. Does that describe the attitude of most believers today? Most of them don't know how to take a biblical vow because their King James Bible and their nearly inspired version has told them that Jesus said, you shall not swear. Therefore the Torah is wrong. And Christ came to fix the Torah. Ridiculous losers.
Yes.
How can the Torah say swear and then Christ says don't swear? You shall swear, but you shall not swear by a city. You shall not swear by Yahweh's throne, or on your grandmother's dead grave, or by the earth, it is Yahweh's footstool. Stop playing games, you religious hypocrites, and And if you're going to take an oath, do it the right way. And make it binding and honor what comes out of your mouth. So Yiphtach was right and wrong. He was right in his brashness, in the fact that he quickly and in a hurry, impulsively made a vow. But then he was right, not willing to break that vow. That's why he made the Hall of Fame, Rachel. He subdued the Ammonites, he did Yahweh's will, and he was willing to lose his only child rather than take the name of Yahweh in vain and break an oath that he had sealed in the name of Yahweh. If we had believers, if the state did marriages in the name of Yahweh, and men and women who went before the state in their mandated serial monogamy, took these vows in Yahweh's name, and they had the fear of Yahweh in their lives, just like Yiphtach had the fear of Yahweh, I guarantee you the divorce rate would not be 80%, it would be 8%.
Amen.
That's right.
I agree.
That's right.
And that's why no one listening to the sound of my voice should go to the state for a marriage license. Not monogamous and not plural marriage people. Because you are swearing an oath in the name of Chemosh and Baal. It is not binding. And that spirit of deception comes into that marriage, and they get rid of the husband and they get rid of the wife because the enemy knows that it was never binding to begin with. You listen to what I'm telling you.
Wow.
When you walk out of that city hall,
Wow.
when you walk out of that city hall, the enemy knows what you are about to find out. That you just signed a piece of paper in the name of Baal and Chemosh, or the state, which is Kaiser, and that's a spirit of Satan, because the Jewish leaders told the Pontius Pilatus, we have no king but Kaiser. So you take your oath in the name of Kaiser, Satan is laughing while the rice is falling on your head. You're walking out the door with a brand new marriage certificate. Satan says, that's not binding, you fool. And you're about to find out how easily it can be broken.
Wow. That is...
And that's why Rivka and I renewed our vows. Because when we got married at Beth Tefillah in South Ozone Park, New York, you with me? Mm-hmm. How did we get married? Hashem, Hoshem, Ihahu, Hoshem. It's gotten so bad in Judaism that they don't even say Elohim anymore. It's Elohim.
Elohim. The hay is too...
As if the lamed is too holy, and they got to substitute a whatever in there, a kuf or a kaf.
The hay is too holy. The
Hey.
Elohim.
Hashem. So Rivka and I got married in the name of Hashem. Okay? Baruch Hashem. I'm ready. All right, let's praise the name. All right, what's his name? Well, we'll start now. What time? Let's praise the name. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready? Baruch Hashem. Let's praise the name. Well, how can we praise the name? Who are we praising? Not important. Who are we praising? You don't need to know. Just praise the name. No, I won't praise the name until I know the name of the one who I'm praising.
Amen.
Baruch Hashem. And I'm not ridiculing anybody. I'm just telling you the way our marriage was. It was never done in the way. Technically, I could have walked away from my Rebbitzin and not even broken a vow. I believe that. But then when I redid the marriage, when we renewed our vows, remember? Did we seal in the name of Yahweh?
Yeah.
That's binding.
Okay, I'm next.
And every one of you that have been married,
I am next.
not in the name of Hashem, because it's not a name, okay? Or to consider renewing your vow
Yes.
in
Amen.
the name of Yahweh
Amen.
and make it binding.
Yes.
Yes.
And maybe if there's more than one couple that wants to do this rededication, we may rent the Miami Arena because nobody meets there anymore anyway. Ever since the Miami Heat moved into American Airlines, that you're sitting there as a dead basketball mausoleum.
Oh, by the way.
So maybe we'll go to the Miami. We'll do one of those Reverend Sun Young Moon deals where we have like 100,000 couples.
There's got to be another place because it's no longer there.
And we'll pass out flowers and candy and say, okay, when the moon says I do, you do. 1, 2, 3, I do. Because when I was in New York, that's what they used to do. They hand out, would you like to get married? Yes, absolutely. I'm single. I'm waxing very wanton. Where's my woman?